Hey guys, Horrorman again for another review. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the brand new Mezco Sub-Zero figure. This is from their 6-inch line that just came out recently. I just did my review for Scorpion, so I figured it would be a perfect way to follow him. So let's get right into it. Luckily, I was actually able to pick this up. I just want to say right off the bat, these things are a little tricky to find. This one had a little bit of a damage to the card, so lucky for me, I'm an opener, so I don't mind at all. So this packaging is pretty much the same exact thing you got with Scorpion, which is awesome. It's just this, traditional kind of card back, and it's got the X going through it, and it's got that keyhole kind of design to the plastic, and again, you could see the dragon logo kind of like embossed on the plastic there. It's kind of lifted, and then you could see the same logo on the back of the packaging. And then if you flip it over, you could see Sub-Zero clearly here. And then there's a little bio if you want to go ahead and pause it and read that. And then it just tells you that it includes an ice sword, ice hammer, and alternate hands. And it's a nice, good picture of him on the back with the Mortal Kombat X logo and the Adult Collector 17+. Very easy to get out of this packaging. You just kind of get your finger underneath this plastic piece, and you can take the card back away. And then if you just kind of hold this and pull the top open, it just kind of has this plastic like shell that goes in front of it, and you simply just take that off and the figure is revealed. Alright, so here he is out of the box, and he looks very, very good. You get some good accessories in here, so let's go ahead and get some close-up shots of it. You can see there's a lot of detail going on here. Again, this is one of the reasons I really do like this version of the figure a little bit more than I did at first from the game. I really like this mask from the profile. Comes off a little bit better than straight on. You get this nice little kind of band, like I guess to tie the mask on this little piece here. You get this like padding type of armor that he has on here. You can see some little knives or daggers, I guess you could say. There's 4 of them on here. And then here's his, I guess, his logo or his clan, like a Lin Kuei symbol, most likely. And you can even see kind of like some kind of stitching going up to the neck. And you got a nice little belt with the buckle. And then you can also see some knives on the side of them there. And then down to the hands. Some really good, like kind of fingerless gloves here. More knives on the other arm. Same padding kind of continued into this like kind of like a skirt piece. And the same in the front. And this is like a nice harder type of material, so it doesn't look like, it doesn't feel cheap, and it doesn't like look flimsy. It goes right back into its shape. And then these boots are really, really cool. You got like the kind of baggier pants with more blue kind of like bands tied around here, and then you can see this kind of like armor to the boots. I really do like that. It kind of reminds me of like a Arkham type of thing. He's got the guards on the top of the feet also. So some really good details in this figure. Now, unlike the Scorpion, this does not have the removable mask, but that's okay. I'm not sure how they would really do it on this figure quite so easily. So really neat detail, though. You can see he's got the white eyes just like Scorpion and Raiden. But some really nice details in here. As far as articulation, you got some pretty good head tilt here, just like a ball joint. You can look down a little bit, but the mask kind of hinders it just a little bit. Can't really look up at all. But I like the head tilt motion in here. Always I think that gives a lot more character. And then you got some decent arm movement here. And then you can bend his elbow, twist the wrist, and you can also kind of go down, and like you can see the hinge right here. So he's got a little bit more articulation in the hand rather than just the twist. And then the torso, not so much with the torso on this one. I don't really see any articulation here. Unless it's locked, I really don't see much here, and it's probably because of this outfit. So you're not going to get quite as much articulation as you did with Scorpion. And then the leg movement, it's got good back movement. It could bend at the knee, but forward not so much, and I'm sure it's because of this piece. And you do have some movement here in the ankle, a little bit of a pivot, but again the armor kind of hinders it just a little bit. You can kind of do a split, so maybe that can help you do some different poses. But yeah, for the most part, the articulation on this guy not quite, well, really not nearly as good as the Scorpion figure. Accessories, you're basically going to get the ice hammer, which is done in this really nice crystal blue, and it's really nice. It's almost barely blue. It's kind of like more just clear. But it's really nice looking, and you see some details in here, like some cracking and whatnot. And then you also have his famous sword, which has these nice little like sharp pieces here, and you can see like a serrated type of edge here, and then also a little bit of a handle with the grip. You can even see where the fingers would go in here. And then of course, just like the other Mortal Kombat figures, you're going to get the fisted hands / gripping hands, and you get one for each left and right. So my biggest gripe really about this figure is that I really was expecting the ice ball to be present here, and if I could focus this in, you can see that there's actually a little bit of a peg hole right by right here. You can see a hole right. So overall, I'm definitely happy with the figure. I mean, it's far better than like the Jazzwares stuff that we got. And even the old stuff in the past just doesn't seem to really fit in nicely with figures of, you know, this day and age. And really didn't get a lot of Mortal Kombat figures in general. So I'm definitely happy that Mezco has delivered some really nice figures for their Series 1. And I mean, if this is the first series they have, I can imagine like a Series 4 or 5, how much better they'd be by then. But these are extremely good. I honestly think they're better than they look on the pictures. The skin tones were a little more yellow, almost like jaundice looking, but in person, these skin tones look far better. But yeah, I'm really happy with the details. I like that they included the right accessories. You know, with Jazzwares, the paint apps were just atrocious, and the weapons were really like flimsy, rubbery looking. So this is just a whole different class of company making Mortal Kombat figures, and I'm definitely really impressed with it. Now, this particular figure, I'm not real thrilled about the articulation in the legs and the waist, but the hands and the arms have very good articulation. And if you were to use like a stand or something for Sub-Zero, you probably get some really good poses out of them. But for, you know, like I said, Wave 1, Sub-Zero, I think this is extremely good. I think I might get the Previews exclusive version also, which is going to have like a clear frozen mask, and like I said, the ice ball. So, but yeah, like my only downsides to this figure is that there was no ice ball included, and I wouldn't care as much if they didn't put that peg in the hand. So I feel like they just kind of like axed the idea, and I do wish the articulation was a little bit better. So right now I'm going to say Scorpion's definitely the best one in the line. I'm probably going to get the Raiden. I'm not sure which version I'm going to get, but I'm probably only going to get one version of him. You know, you can find these in any FYE. Some comic shops will probably be getting them in the next month or so. Diamond takes a little bit longer to distribute stuff, so if you want to get these now, I'd probably recommend FYE, Toys R Us, Hastings, Big Bad Toy Store, places like that. So let's go ahead and do some comparisons and put him next to some different figures that I didn't do on my Scorpion review. Alright, so for the first comparison, here he is next to his arch enemy, Scorpion. So they look really nice next to each other. About the same exact height. And, well, these stand so good. I mean, one thing you don't have to worry about Mezco is these figures will not fall over on you. So yeah, this is a really nice set. Alright, and here he is standing along the 3 3/4 inch Jazzwares MK9 figure. So you can see a pretty good difference in the design changes and obviously the height difference. And here he is next to the Mortal Kombat Deception Sub-Zero in the 6-inch format. And this is the last 6-inch Sub-Zero that I have. And you can see the differences in the design change. Now, I honestly love this design. This is my favorite design for Sub-Zero, but the figure is terrible. I mean, it's really badly made, the paint is really bad, and I've just elected to leave that one mint on card. So I would really like to see Mezco remake this Deception figure, but I'm not going to hold my breath. And if you do notice, the packaging on these says ages 4 and up. And here he is next to a Marvel Legends Daredevil. The scale is about the same, but it looks like Daredevil is just a little bit bigger, and I think it's just because his head. So unfortunately, the Jason Voorhees figures are not in scale with the Mezco Mortal Kombat figures. This is in a 7-inch scale, and the Mortal Kombat figures are in a 6-inch scale. You know, if Mezco would have made in a 7-inch scale, it would have been a different story, but you know, it is what it is, and they are not in scale together. And unfortunately, the Neca Predators are also not in scale. Predators, again, are in a 7-inch scale, but since they're bigger than the humans, it's about an 8-inch tall figure. So, you know, again, if Sub-Zero was a 7-inch figure, they'd be perfectly in scale, but unfortunately, they are not. So if you have any of the Jazzwares figures, they will go perfectly in scale with the Mezco Mortal Kombat figures. Here's Shao Kahn facing off against Sub-Zero here. And Khan is in the 6-inch scale, but since he's a bigger character, he's about 7 inches tall. So he's really nicely in scale with Sub-Zero here. Unfortunately, the quality, not so much, but yeah, they do go pretty well next to each other. Alright, so that's my review. Overall, like I said, it's a great figure. You're just not going to get a lot of poses in the legs, but you're going to get some great poses in the upper body. You know, this is Mezco we're talking about. They generally make figures like the Sons of Anarchy line and the Breaking Bad figures, and those are all static poses. So this is definitely territory that we haven't seen them tread on since the Hellboy line and the Cinema Fear line. So, you know, as soon as they get a better hang of this articulation, I think we're going to see some really, really good figures coming out. I'm hoping that we get the Melina figure, Reptile, Aaron Black, maybe Ermac, and I'd love to see the 112 Collective line get going with classic figures, which they have hinted at. So thanks for watching my review. Please subscribe, leave a comment, question, like the video, and stay tuned for some more reviews. See ya.